So can you give us and give our viewer and me a bit of background to the young Shawn Harper as a kid? And I do know, but I want you to tell your own story about the difficulties, the setbacks, the bullying that you experienced.
Right. Thank you so much for that, because it gives context to my crazy ideology, right? It's most people, when they see a above average or an amazing athlete, he or she is kind of pushed or catered to in a certain way. They're in the best sports and the best travel teams, and in some countries they'll put you in the like Olympic camps. But nothing could be further from the truth with me. First of all, I was a horrible athlete, and I struggled in probably every facet of life. I was documented with 4 to 5 learning disabilities. I was kicked out of 2 schools for disciplinary issues, had to repeat the first grade, single parent setting. I wasn't poor, I was po. We would just eat potatoes, every day. I mean, it was really bad. It was 6 kids in one house. My mom was a maid scrubbing floors. And as I mentioned, I was kicked out of those schools. I left high school graduating last in my class in academics. My academic ranking was about 1.62, which is extremely low. And I was dead last, voted most likely to fail. And in sports, as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't even honorable mention all conference. And I stuttered. I stuttered bad. In fact, if you listen closely, it comes out every once in a while. But let me just say this going forward is that I'm not disabled. I don't own that title. I am uniquely enabled. And that's so important, because everyone has strengths and everyone has weaknesses. My God, Superman has kryptonite, okay? But you don't see Superman saying, oh my God, I'm such a victim, I have kryptonite. Victimization cripples you. And I went off to a junior college in Mason City, Iowa. And the first year at that junior college, I sat the bench the entire season. And I was just about to give up, honestly. And I called my mom. My mom encouraged me. And then I had this conversation. And the conversation was, you're right, I'm a failure. I can't be successful according to the world, whatever. I said, but I can win. And the moment I said that, it was like in those sci-fi movies where, the guy or the lady walks over and cuts on a switch and the entire factory, some space factory cuts on, like, that's what happened to me. I mean, my body just came to life and I began to see things from a totally different perspective. I was merging the competitiveness in me to say, Shawn, you can win this game called life. And it gave me so much encouragement. And I began to look at life from that competitive realm. And I began to MacGyver the game of life. And the rest is history.